Hello, my friends. I have a little bit of a different video to share with you guys today, but I thought that this would be kind of a fun one, especially as we are heading into the holiday season. I know quite a few of you guys have already gotten your Christmas decor up. I am not yet in that camp. To be honest with you guys, I am actually waiting until the day after Thanksgiving to put my Christmas decorations up this year. The last couple of years, let me back it up. That's normally what I always did. And the last couple of years, I started to set it up a little bit earlier, but I concluded last year, and this is just for me personally, I think part of the reason why Christmas decor is so special to me is because it is up for such a short, limited time in my home. And so no matter where you fall, today's video might be a little bit helpful because I know when I was growing up, I always had fresh Christmas trees, but in my adult life, I've kind of gone the route as many Americans, and I've just purchased a Christmas tree at Walmart, Home Depot, wherever, and it goes up into my attic during the summertime and it comes down for the Christmas season. And what you lose with that, well, let me say, what you gain with that is that you don't have pine needles and as much of a fire risk and all of the work and effort that goes into keeping a tree alive. But on the downside, one of the things that you miss out on is the beautiful fragrance that live trees bring to a home during the holiday season. So in today's video, I am sharing with you guys my top 5 tree fragrances. Now, this is not my top 5 Christmas scents. That may or may not be coming in another video in the future. But today, these are just tree fragrances. If you're somebody who just loves a good, versatile Christmas tree scent for your home, you might want to pay attention to this video. Also, I'm going to be very curious to hear what your favorite Christmas tree fragrances are. So feel free to comment down below what your favorites are. And if you are another creator, tag me. I'd love to see what yours are. I'd love to see if you guys come up with a video sharing what your top 5 tree fragrances are. It would be fun to get a little bit of a tag going. So in today's video, like I said, I have 5 fragrances that are my favorite tree ones at this time. I would say, like, just today, if anybody off the street were to walk up to me and say, Katie, what are your 5 favorite Christmas tree fragrances? These are the ones that I would give to you. I do have an honorable mention, and I'll mention to you guys why it's an honorable mention when we get to it. But let's go ahead and dive on into this video. As always, all of the candles that I'm talking about today, I will make sure that I have listed in the description box down below with timestamps. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So the first candle that I wanted to talk about, I actually do not have in my collection right now because this fragrance was initially launched in a country candle format in 2024. However, just recently, they brought this candle over from Country Candle into the 2-wick KRINGLE tumblers. And the fragrance that I'm talking about is Here Comes Santa Claus. Now, last year I received that fragrance in PR from the brand, and it was funny because I got it, my husband sniffed it, and he said, oh my goodness, this is Christmas tree. To me, I actually don't have the fragrance notes right in front of me. I'll make sure that I list them here and so you guys can see them. The fragrance notes on that candle, it came across a little bit more like a spruce tree to me. I know that spruce is not listed in there. I think it's fir and balsam. But that one was definitely, if you are somebody who likes a very piney Christmas tree fragrance, but it's not so astringent that it's like Pine Sol. It doesn't remind me of like cleaning or anything like that, but you want a very aromatic, like fresh pine needles in your face type of fragrance, I would recommend Here Comes Santa Claus. Now, it's funny because, again, I normally don't really think of myself as liking those very strong, pungent tree fragrances. Sometimes they can come across a little bit like cat urine to me. But for whatever reason, last year, you guys, I really loved that scent. And I found it to be very versatile with a lot of other candles that I have in my collection. You guys know at the holidays, I usually like to mix a tree scent with a gourmand, and that one just went beautifully with a lot of other fragrances. So I just checked on the website before I sat down to film this. It looks like they still have some of them available in the country candle lineup, but if you prefer the KRINGLE large tumblers, it has now transitioned into that format. I didn't see it in a 4-wick, which you guys know, I love me a good 4-wick from KRINGLE, but if they do release that one in a 4-wick, I could see myself possibly wanting to purchase that one for next year. Probably not this year because I'm pretty set on tree fragrances at the moment, trying to watch my pennies. But yeah, if you are looking for a very good, strong Christmas pine tree type of fragrance, Here Comes Santa Claus from KRINGLE Candle is going to be my recommendation. Let's see, while we are talking about KRINGLE, I have another one here, which is going to be no surprise to anybody who is familiar with my channel. This is KRINGLE Candle's #1 selling fragrance. I'm not sure if it's their #1 selling fragrance all time or all together, but I do know that it is their #1 selling holiday fragrance. It is the fragrance Christmas. Now, I only have it in a 3-wick right now. The label on the 2-wick jar and on the 4-wick jar is stunning. It's just like a simple, beautifully decorated red ornament. Beautiful fragrance. Fragrance notes on Christmas are Siberian fir needles, cedarwood, musk, sandalwood, and wood. Now, if you have been watching my channel any length of time, you guys know my preferred tree fragrances lean warm and woody. That's just the way that I tend to like a lot of my tree fragrances. And this meets that criteria. Christmas to me is more woody than it is piney. All of the notes that they listed there, the cedarwood, I get sandalwood in here, which I've recognized that sandalwood is a note that I tend to like across the board. I tend to like it in the summertime. I like it in the wintertime. Only sometimes when it's paired with some other fragrances, it can come off a little weird to me, but not in this one. This is very warm. It's very inviting. Again, pairs nicely with a lot of other fragrances. Musk. Yeah, it's just, there's a lot of wood here, but then it says Siberian fir needles. And something you guys should know about me is that when it comes to tree fragrances, I do tend to lean towards fir fragrances. I like the way that they smell. This is not too piney. So I feel like this is almost like on the opposite end. If you don't want overt pine needles, but maybe you like more of the fragrance of the wood, like if like a freshly cut tree, you like more of like what the stem smells like. You want something a little bit more woody, but this is not woody like the Heartwood candle or like a lot of their fall fragrances that leaned very cedarwood, very almost like hippie woody. That's not at all what this is. This is very much like Christmas tree wood to me. Again, there's a reason why this is probably, I would say, this is probably, let me put my words right here. There's a reason why this fragrance is their #1 selling holiday scent. I can see why. It's just, there's almost like a nostalgia to it. It's just a beautiful scent. I do believe that this fragrance was also somewhat inspired by Time's Fraser Fir. That is another fragrance. I don't have it on my list just simply because I haven't purchased it to burn it, so I don't know the burn quality, but I have smelled it several times when I've gone into boutiques, and I do love that fragrance. It's a tree fragrance that, like, if you ever pick it up and smell it and be like, I wonder if Katie would like this. Yes, I do. I do like that fragrance quite a bit. But yeah, this is a beautiful scent. Christmas. Highly, highly recommend it. It was currently out of stock in the 4-wick. I am waiting for it to come back in a 4-wick. I'm waiting for it to go in a 4-wick and on sale, and then I will buy it. But this is one of my all-time favorite Christmas tree scents. And while we are with KRINGLE, I promise these are not all KRINGLE. KRINGLE did dominate because, truthfully, you guys, KRINGLE does tree scents really, really well. In fact, it was kind of hard for me to narrow it down to even just these 3 fragrances. But the other fragrance that I just did a review on earlier this week is the fragrance Juniper and Laurel. I mentioned in that review that this is the first time I've actually had it in this format. I had it in a daylight. I've heard a lot of creators, I've heard a lot of you guys say how much you love this scent. The fragrance notes are white juniper, laurel leaves, eucalyptus, jasmine, silver spruce, patchouli, cedar, and pine cone. And this fragrance to me, you guys, this doesn't lean too piney like the Here Comes Santa Claus, and it doesn't lean super woody like Christmas. This has a totally different vibe going on to it. This is more of like, I call this like elevated Christmas tree. This smells almost like fancy lady Christmas tree. This is the top notes, I believe, what were they? They're juniper and laurel leaves and eucalyptus. The eucalyptus and the laurel leaves, I remember, are the top notes on this. And I think that that is the element that kind of elevates this a little bit. I will tell you guys, this is one of those fragrances that really transforms, even like I like it on cold, but when this is burning, it transforms into something even more beautiful and complex. KRINGLE does a great job with those conceptual types of fragrances, and this fits their identity very much with that. It's not perfumey. It's just, it's almost, it's not even like clean. That it's not like that. It's just, it's a beautiful elevated tree scent. It's very classy. I feel like this is the type of scent that, like, if you were hosting, it sounds funny, like a corporate Christmas party or something like that. Like, you've got a lot of like hoity-toities that are going to be present. This is like what I think it would smell like. It's just very elevated, classy, very nice Christmas scent, but it is very much a tree scent. This blends very nicely with a lot of other fragrances. So Juniper and Laurel gets a vote from me. Okay, here's another fragrance that is, these other two, you guys, are actually newcomers this year. But again, these are my top 5 current favorite tree fragrances. So again, if somebody just came to me off of the street and said, hey, give me 5 tree fragrances that you love, these are the top 5 that popped to the top of my head. The next one here, Dad's Fresh Cut Frasier. You guys knew that this one was going to make the list. This is from Caramel Sundays. Fragrance notes listed are cypress, evergreen, cedar, balsam, and vanilla. The other day in my candle chat, I said this fragrance to me smells like Fraser Fir had a baby with Bath & Body Works Vanilla Balsam. That's what I get here. This is a beautiful tree fragrance. Again, it's another one that really transforms when it is lit up. You get a little bit of that vanilla note in here that kind of tames down the pininess, I would say, like any kind of like pine needle notes in here. But there's a little bit of woodiness. The evergreen is present in here. I like evergreen trees too. Yeah, this one's just so beautiful, you guys. I am so happy to see that they are bringing this back for the November restock. Initially, it was only going to be in this 2-wick, but they heard us loud and clear, and they are now going to be offering this in the 4-wick 40-ounce vessel, which I am so glad that they are doing that, because once I got my hands on this, I was kicking myself for not picking up the 4-wick in the October restock. So now that I have, I have half of it left here in this 2-wick, I am very much prioritizing getting this in the 4-wick. I should have my Caramel Sundays wish list video up for you guys. I'm hoping by like Thursday of this week, just to let you guys know if you're curious as to what is on my wish list. I've got my wish list going. But yeah, this one, it's just so good, you guys. If you want a good tree scent, again, yeah, this is like Fraser Fir met up with vanilla balsam and had a baby. That's what I feel like this fragrance is. Really, really nice, and I absolutely love it. And another fragrance that I just talked about in my candle chat video, you guys, this is probably the newest one on the block. I've only had this fragrance for about a week and a half, and I mentioned in candle chat, this is the fragrance Old Saint Wick from SNIF. Now, Old Saint Wick, you know what? I already put away my fragrance notes on it, but I'll pop them up here so that way you can see. This is different than the Fraser Fir. All of these are different fragrances. None of them smell the exact same to me, but they are all just gorgeous tree scents. This one has got, I think they said like Siberian fir needles. There's some balsam in here. This is just so good. It's, again, kind of in that same vein of Dad's Fresh Cut Frasier, where it's not overtly woody and it's not too piney. It's just right there in the middle. It smells like a fresh cut tree. This does not have as many wood elements to it as Christmas. Oh my goodness. But there's something about this that is just so nostalgic. Yeah, I get a little bit more balsam in this one, but I'm not mad about it. I really, really love it. Now, I did mention in my candle chat that I did have some performance issues with this little 2-wick, with the 2-wick initially. I am still waiting to hear back from SNIF to see, what's going on with that, but it did affect the performance. I will say that it did correct about the halfway point, but this fragrance in the 2-wick is still not really sufficient for what I want it to be. You guys know the Mornings at Leven candle has been a barn burner for me. Healed Away also performed really well for me. So I was a little bit surprised that this 2-wick wasn't performing that well. But I will tell you guys that last week, SNIF did have a 35% off code going on for a couple of days. And I did go ahead and take advantage during that sale to purchase this fragrance in the 4-wick. So I will make sure that I do a post-burn review on the 4-wick, and I will compare it to the 2-wick. But this one is really, really good. I would anticipate that SNIF is probably going to have that same type of sale going on for Black Friday when they open up their Black Friday sales, just because they mentioned, like, they called it like a VIP early access sale, which to me says like early access to Black Friday. That's what I'm thinking. So if you can get this candle, I would say probably in the 4-wick, I don't think that you will be upset. It's so good. And we all know SNIF's rewards program is one of the best ones in the business. Like, frequently you're just getting like tons of points accumulating and able to redeem them for free products. So this one is really, really good. I just keep sniffing it like, oh, that's so good. I don't want to stop sniffing it. It's such a beautiful tree fragrance. So those are my 5 fragrances. I did want to give an honorable mention to a Bath & Body Works fragrance. Now, I'm not sure if it's coming back. I honestly haven't watched. I'm a little bit behind on a lot of my videos, to be honest with you guys. And I believe, who is it? I think Greg was going to talk about Bath & Body Works Candle Day. You guys know I've been on an Instagram break, so I really haven't been seeing any leaks going on. But another fragrance that I would give an honorable mention to is the fragrance Evergreen and Fir at Bath & Body Works. I did purchase that one last year. In fact, I purchased 2 of them. I already finished burning through one earlier this season. I finished burning through my backup earlier this season. That's a really nice tree fragrance too. I am not a fan, truth be told, you guys, I don't like not frozen balsam. Is it frozen balsam? What's the balsam scent? Fresh balsam. Fresh balsam. I don't like fresh balsam at Bath & Body Works, but I do like their Evergreen and Fir. I think it was previously just known as Evergreen. I believe that one came out around Candle Day last year. I know that's when I purchased it. So I haven't seen it on the Bath & Body Works website yet, but I don't know if there's any teasers for that one to be coming back. But if you and I tend to have similar fragrance preferences, particularly when it comes to tree fragrances, Evergreen and Fir is one that I would recommend. I actually got pretty decent performance out of mine last year. Burned a little bit hot and sooty for me, but honestly, with Bath & Body Works, I will take that over the puny wick syndrome that I tend to experience with a lot of their candles. But if you are a Bath & Body Works shopper, then I would recommend Evergreen and Fir. That is my favorite tree fragrance that they have offered. Vanilla Balsam comes in a close second. I do like Vanilla Balsam at Bath & Body Works as well. So, a little bit shorter video than my last one, than the candle chat. That one went, boy, that one went really long. But let me know in the comment section down below, maybe what is your #1 tree fragrance, or you can let me know what your top 5 are. Again, if you are a creator, I would love to see what your list is, so feel free to tag me in that video. Like I said, in the not too distant future, I should be having a top 5 Christmas candles video up for you guys, and that one might be a little collaboration with some friends of mine here on YouTube. So if you don't want to miss that, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. And again, I hope that you found this video helpful, particularly as we are coming into the time of year where there are going to be a lot of sales. I know that sometimes it can feel really, really overwhelming. I did want to let you guys know that I am doing my very best to get a lot of dedicated post-burn reviews out for you guys prior to the crazy shopping season. But I can only do so much, right? So please, 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 if you have any questions about specific candles that might be going on sale and you haven't seen me do a dedicated post-burn review on yet, but you know that like you've seen it in some of my videos, you know that I have them in my collection, please feel free to send me an email. Normally I would say send me a DM over on Instagram, but again, I'm taking a break from that. It's deleted off of my phone at the moment. I'll reinstall it at some point, but not right now. I'm okay without it. But anyways, feel free to send me an email. I do have an email listed in the description box down below. It's just katiesjoyfullife@gmail.com. But if you have any questions about any candles that you might be seeing pop up on sale and you want to say, hey, Katie, is it worth it? You know, is it worth it at this price point or whatnot? I will definitely respond and give you my thoughts as to what I have thought about my experience with some of those candles. So I feel like that's enough. You guys know I tend to be a little chatty Cathy here, but it's time to wrap this up. Again, please hit thumbs up if you liked this video. Consider subscribing if you are new. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.